Hello, good afternoon. This is High Priestess Jamila. How are y'all doing? All right, so we are going to discuss the Britney Spears case. And I want to get into spiritually why her father did this to his own child. Now, Britney Spears, I believe that Britney Spears should be okay. Now, her Instagram is gone for some reason, which leads me to worry. But she may have taken it down to get a break or something. You know, uh, Positive energy is being sent to Britney Spears, as well as prayers that she is doing fine. So, Britney Spears' father is a narcissist. And the last time I checked up on her case, at least on YouTube, I think he's telling the courts that she has a drug addiction or something. And so this doesn't necessarily free Britney because in the state that she is in, they could possibly throw a whammy at her, possibly. So until, all of this stuff is happening in court, if you guys notice, and court is a very spiritual thing. It is. It's spiritually connected. Okay. And so just because he files it in the court doesn't necessarily mean that Britney is going to be free of her father, because her father is literally the devil to her. Okay. He's the devil. And so Britney has the potential to become a living goddess. She's already a goddess. Um, but what I feel coming from Britney, and this is without throwing the cards, is pain, suffering, loneliness, isolation, guilt because of her children, because she gave birth to children. She's dealing with a lot. I can feel it. For some reason, Spirit wanted me to come on here and talk about it. And so after 13 years, and then also after dealing with him being her father, she's going to have to go through a healing process. Because when somebody takes your personal rights and freedoms away, it causes trauma to the mind. So, as Britney was being raised, the trauma was already being programmed inside of her. Okay. Because, he had that child. Her whole purpose for him of being born was to be his cash cow, to be his slave. Okay. And if you notice the song that she made a few years ago, I'm a slave for you, she was talking about her father. Okay. From the time Britney first came out, you could tell that she had possibly been through some sexual trauma. She was very young, but yet she was very seductive. And so she had the MK Ultra programming, from the time she was a child. Okay. And so that programming is still there, and she's going to have to break that programming, which is very difficult to break. It is. And so her mind right now is all over the place because they have been forcing her to take medications that has closed off her crown chakra. So her consciousness is almost like Britney is halfway asleep, but halfway awoke. Because the mind, if it's not allowed to grow, it'll go to sleep. Okay? It'll go to sleep. Almost like when your foot fall asleep, your mind can do the same thing. So she's in a very, very dark place right now. Britney Spears is. I can feel it. And if you go search for her Instagram, it's not there. So she's going through it because, first of all, her father has controlled every aspect of Britney Spears' life. He's controlled her relationships with men. He hasn't allowed her relationships with men to grow. Okay? He hasn't. He hasn't allowed her relationships with men to grow. So she's lonely and she's starved. She's starving to death from the need for intimacy and affection because he's never allowed anybody real to be around her. He wanted everybody to be set up and put into place. Everybody has been her handler. Everybody. So I think that Britney Spears is going to end up kind of like Lark Voorhees, but I think that she's going to end up a lot better because Lark Voorhees was really going through. That's another starlet that I want to talk about in another video. She ended up marrying a guy that they claim took all her money or something like that. But Britney Spears is going to go and she's going to be with a regular person because she's never had what you call a quote unquote normal life. She's always been around these plastic, superficial people. It was all about her being Britney Spears, her being a singer, her being a dancer, her being her father's hoe. Britney Spears' father is her pimp and she is his hoe. The entire family was in on it. Her sister, if she has any brothers, and even her mother, because the bottom line was the money. He sold his own daughter. He sold her. Britney Spears' zodiac sign. Okay, so she's a Sagittarius. So she's almost, well, not almost, her life has been martyred because she's had to give her life so that her family could be rich and wealthy. But her heart wants what it wants, which is why she's fought so hard, and a lot of other people fought from her. And it's very symbolic of what is happening worldwide, even to people that are not Britney Spears now. The spiritual meaning behind her whole existence and who she is and what she has went through is factually an inspiration for women everywhere. Okay, because the father took a deal with the devil. Okay, and he sold his daughter out because he didn't want to go, and from what spirit is telling me is that he failed at real estate or something. So he sold his daughter into the music game and into Hollywood. And it destroyed this woman's life. Just so that he could be rich. Okay. Now the father had a lot of debt. So he's not who you think he is. He's a very, very, very sinister and bad man. In fact, the movie Sinister kind of reminds me of her father's energy. She was terrified of him. because of the enforcement of the beatings and the talks, because, that's how he got her where he got her. The beatings were so bad that she forgot about it. She blocked it out of her mind. And he did other things to her to make her ready for Hollywood. He did other things to her. And he tried to kill her spirit, but he couldn't. And the day that Britney was in court, I watched it and I cried like a baby. I was so proud of her because it's so wrong to take somebody's life like that. And then also, Britney Spears is a natural born witch. She's a witch. You can tell by looking at her. She didn't make a choice to become a sex kitten for her father and to become his cash cow. She didn't make that decision. She didn't make that choice. In fact, her life was threatened if she didn't do what her father told her to do. Okay. Right now, she is physically and mentally exhausted, but her energy levels have been picking back up. Those psychotropic drugs that she's been on has made her more subservient to her father. Okay. Now her father is going down. He obviously is sick. You can tell by looking at him that he's sick. That is his karma. Her father is sick. I can tell by looking at him that he has some type of cancer. This is what happens even if you do the slightest. A lot of narcissistic parents will use their children for validation while abusing them, even if the child is not very successful in life, the child is still used by the narcissistic parent, which is still equally as traumatizing because a parent is supposed to love their child and that's it. That's it. You're just supposed to love your children. Okay, hello, chat. Hello, Ziana and Patsy. Hello. You're just supposed to love your children. You're just supposed to want your children to have the best and to be happy and to not be lonely and heartbroken. She was in love with Kevin Federline. They were in love. She was also in love with Justin Timberlake, but at the time, Justin Timberlake was more of a handler type. Her husband that she married and had children with, she was in love with him. Okay. Hey, Kelly. Hey, sweetie. And her heart got broken. I can sense so much heartache surrounding Britney. And she knows it. She knows what her father's intent is spiritually. And she's even asked her father, how could you let me go through that immense amount of pain and heartbreak? How could you set me up like that? And what he says is that she's crazy. He just says, oh, she's delusional, she's crazy, but she's not. Britney Spears knows exactly what her father. Britney Spears is very, very psychic. She's very, very empathic. She was born with many gifts, and she has been reaching out to so many people because he had her so beaten down that she couldn't do it by herself. And see, that's a lot of money on the line. That's why when I saw that her Instagram was gone, I was kind of worried. I said, what is going on with Britney? People like her, you need to see them in social media to know that they are okay. But she's not okay. Her heart is broken. She's starved, like I said. Um, I know a lot of people don't accept this when I say this, that human beings need love. Men and women being, human animals, mammals, we need sex. We need affection. That's why all of these things exist. Hugs were not made up by Hollywood. Hugs were made up by humans. The human hug has the power to heal somebody, to heal two people, especially if they hug each other very close. She's starved. She's been neglected by her father for the love of money. And it's similar to the Michael Jackson story, which is why I get very emotional. So he's giving up the conservatorship, guys, is what he says. He filed a motion to give it up. But now what Britney needs is she needs to heal and she needs to feed herself. So Britney Spears is probably going to gain a little bit of weight. She going to get thick. She was already kind of thick. Y'all going to see her get thick, a little thick, not fat. You're going to see her get a little thick, and you're going to see those dark circles around her eyes go away, and you're going to see her smile, and she'll probably even look younger. She'll probably look the same way that she looked when she was young, because all of her youth was taken from her. All of it. All of her youth, her family that she was supposed to have, her husband, her white picket fence with children and the dog, all of that was taken from her because her father is greedy. It don't have nothing to do with riches, it's greed. Her father could have created a life for himself and made less money, but he wanted millions. He wanted to be Dr. Evil. He wanted to have never ending money, but he doesn't have never ending money because it ain't did nothing but create health problems for him. He is paying a doctor millions of dollars to even stay alive. He's paying a lot of money. Brittany's paying for it, not him. Brittany is paying to keep her captor alive because she's in chains. Now, what she needs to do is mentally get out of that situation even before the ruling is made in court, and she can do that. And she's coming out of it. But you got to understand, years and years of healing needed can be very painful. That's why she took down her Instagram, because she just needs time to herself. She needs time alone so that she can process what has happened to her. She's probably going to be just like Janet Jackson. She's going to have children later in life because she has to manifest the life that she wanted. Okay, now I can see a witch also. I can see the chains. I can see who helped do this for her, to her. So when Brittany married Kevin Federline and had those children, she had, I think, two or three boys. It was the happiest that she had ever been in her life, but the happiness went really quickly because Britney Spears had been, somebody had been doing spells on her and stuff and rituals, and then they were drugging her too. So if you're somebody that is on medication while at the same time being drugged with psychotropics, you can be controlled totally and completely. So when y'all saw Britney chop off all of her hair, the reason why she did that was because she wanted closeness with God, because the first thing that they did was close off her crown chakra and put it on somebody else. Okay. So instead of her getting what she needed, she got nothing but strife, anger, because Britney was very rebellious from the beginning. She was rebellious. She rebelled against all of that from the beginning. Okay. But then when she realized what it meant, and, she had fun at first, but then, like I said, when she lost her family and those kids, that's when she went crazy. That's when we started seeing Britney act out. It wasn't that she went crazy. She was trying to tell the world something. She was trying to tell the world something. Even when you look at the Barbara Walters interview, like the terror that this woman was given, this was way too much money to be at risk for Britney to actually be able to free herself of it too early. This was a lot of money on the line. Let's look at her net worth. Britney Spears' net worth.
According to USA Today, a Forbes investigation in February determined Spears' estate is worth about $60 million.
$60 million is a lot of money, isn't it? That's a lot of money, isn't it? Y'all, and you know what? She's actually worth more than that. Okay, that's just an estimate. When they do the estimate, they can be way out. The mother is, I'm sorry, they've been spending. So let me tell y'all something. There's a dark side to Britney Spears' family. They into some dark shit. They into some dark shit. I don't even want to talk about what they into. They into some dark stuff. Animal sacrifice, child sacrifice. Oh, they are into it all. Okay. Anybody that would sacrifice their own child would sacrifice the lives of other children. This a ruthless ass man. The mama's ruthless. She's a yes woman. The whole family that benefited off of Britney is very ruthless, because Britney had been going to the family asking them for help, but they knew that that money was coming in, so they'd make her feel crazy. Okay. And she quit a month ago. She quit. She said, I'm done with it. Right. And so then that's when he decided to give up the conservatorship. She doesn't have anything to worry about. They're already smearing her. They're saying that she's on drugs. She's on psychotropic drugs. They've had her on something that is going to take a miracle for her to get off of. They've had her on very addictive psychotropic drugs to control her. Okay. Yes, Britney Spears does get gang stalked. Okay. So what she's going to need to do is spiritually cut the chains. She's going to have to do a lot of rituals to heal herself. Okay. And I believe that she already has been doing them. But now that it's over, this is where she's going to have to heal her mind, heal her body, and heal her spirit. And she's going to have to live life as a free woman. Now, I believe that she's going to embrace it very quickly. But I think that there's going to be interviews. There's going to be, she's going to go through a very emotional time. She's going to go through a lot of emotions. She's going to go through a lot of healing. She's probably going to have all kinds of symptoms. Now, the good part about it is that her father wasn't cheap. So she has a lot of money. And that's a good part about it, because a lot of y'all with fathers that sell you out, they'll sell you out for a disability check. Okay. So she's on a broad scale. She's huge, you know what I'm saying? But many of y'all that this happens to, your father doesn't quite think as big as Britney Spears' father. So a lot of y'all are in poverty and living in poverty. You got to think about it. Your parents, even Britney Spears' father, was not counting on inflation 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, there may have been a ritual or either a will that was done to you to get a job that may have paid $50,000. So that's what's in the contract, right? So when you start having children, then the contract can be negotiated. So fathers like that are contracting their children out spiritually. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, $50,000 was a lot of money. And some of them got stuck in that. Some of them got stuck in 50 or 60,000 per year. But then inflation happened. And the reason why it happened was because this is supposed to stop. So, all kind of deals were in the contract where, you would forever be codependent. You would be less than, because of course, grandstanding and grandiosity had a lot to do with it. But they got stuck, and now they can't really afford nothing, right? And the contracts are not being renewed. Okay. There are good fathers out there, though. But Britney Spears' father ain't one of them. He's not. I would suggest that Britney Spears eat chocolate because it'll help to stimulate her brain. She's going to go through hell getting off of those psychotropic drugs that he has her on. Because there's not only side effects to those drugs, but there's withdrawal symptoms that are going to send her through hell. I pray for Britney and women like her, that we all be released from these narcissistic, incestuous fathers that are like that. And she's like a lot of you women, she's felt like she's always dated the same guy. That's her father's not like a shapeshifter or nothing like that. It's just that the father places everything under possession in everybody. So, that's one of the reasons why that happens. That's a part of the contract that the demon does for those types of fathers and mothers. And mothers, you're right, Kelly. You're right. That's a part of the contract. And so she'll see a rainbow. She will. She'll be okay. Britney Spears will be okay. Because I know a lot of people are worried about her because her Instagram page is gone. Now, sometimes that's being done simply as a feeding process. But just recently, there's been ritual that has been done so that he can't feed anymore. Now, Britney Spears wants her father to go to prison, which I believe he should as well. That would be justice for him to go to prison. Now, is he going to go to prison? Let's find out from the cards. Yeah, he is. He's going to go to prison. He's going to lose all his money. And maybe he'll get a job as a janitor at a real estate office. Hey, Otterly. Yeah, he's definitely going to go to jail. He's definitely under judgment because he wasn't supposed to do that, even though he could. See, sometimes you shouldn't do things just because you can. Okay, just because the option is there, don't mean that you should do it. So her father will go through a tremendous amount of suffering, already is, far more than what his daughter should even have to go through. Okay. And she's breaking all kinds of bindings and strongholds. They are trying to get Britney Spears to kill herself because they just don't love her. They don't love her. They don't care about her. They see her as a cash cow, as an ATM card, as a free ticket. That's all they see her as. She's nothing. She's nothing more. In fact, her story would be comparable to the child called It. And Spirit had to do something about it because when that screaming banshee showed up in Texas, Spirit went on the ball to free her. Because that type of energy of a woman can create a screaming banshee. And that was a real screaming banshee in Texas. Okay, it was. And I'm trying to think where she's from. I think she's from Texas. Britney Spears' hometown.
According to Britannica, Britney Spears was born on December 2nd, 1981. She was born in Macomb,
Well, she was
Mississippi,
born.
but grew up in Kentwood, Louisiana.
She's tied to Texas somehow, but see, that screaming banshee could have been anywhere, but it was heard in Texas because people were video recording it. So she's from she's from Mississippi and grew up in Louisiana. Interesting. Um, yeah, that's pretty much how the cookie is gonna crumble. And the heartbreak and the symptoms and why does my chest feel so heavy? I feel like I'm in bondage. I feel like I'm in chains. I just want to love and I want to live and I want my heart to sing and I want to be healed. All of that is going to pass. Okay. I know it because I've been through trauma and she'll absolutely heal from it. It may take her a few years, but she'll heal from it. And a lot of the other people deserve freedom as well. Because there's little black girls in the hood and there's little black girls in these middle class neighborhoods that are the same way in the same spiritual contract. That's one of the reasons why the middle class felt like they were being destroyed. But that's only if you didn't do the right thing. You see, that's the reason why. By the way, guys, I have a show coming up, okay, tomorrow about gaining wealth and prosperity without compromising your karma. We'll be talking about that tomorrow around 3 p.m. Okay, so make sure y'all are there. That's why they wanted to destroy me, because I was a representation. Even though I did some things to pay people back their karma throughout the years, I'm not worth 60. Well, I haven't made $60 million. I feel like I'm priceless. But uh, when people saw how much money I was making, that was when they had an invested interest on stopping me, because it had to be a message towards people like me that you can't get anywhere with being a good person. You can't get anywhere with being honest, and that's a lie. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. And I'm gonna let's get to the stuff that sounds crazy. We're gonna be partying like it's 1999, like it's the fairy realm. We might even see a couple of unicorns. There will be peace. There will be happiness. There will be healing. Cool, Kelly. It will be. And it'll be just like the fairyland. And a lot of these people are going to get banished underground. People like her father. Spirit is going to do it, because what's going to happen is that the sun is going to start to drive these people underground, almost like mutants. They are mutants. So if you don't want that mutated gene, you better get right, because the Lord God and his goddess, the goddess that is kept by him, because the goddess created her own protection. They're getting ready to sound off. And they want to kill the messenger so bad, but they can't. They can't kill the messenger. The healer of the ages is here. This full moon in Pisces coming up, y'all. September 20th, 2021. The healer of the ages is coming, because it's going to be in Pisces. And that reminds me of the Pisces energy. The healer of the ages in my energy oracle deck. And it was a trickster spirit that came over here. There was actually a helpful spirit that came over here and spilled coffee on my oracle cards. But the healer of the ages is we're in the age of Aquarius, but there's an extremely powerful force that is getting ready to come through. Okay. And it's nothing that they can do about it. It's not to say that it's going to be Armageddon. I think that people need to get straight, and people need to get right with God. I'd say people need to get right with God. And I'm talking about the Most High, because he's coming and she's coming with him. Okay. See, the Britney Spears case is very symbolic of the world, which is changing. And her freedom symbolizes that change. Okay. And don't matter if you're black, if you're white, if you're Asian, if you're Indian, if that's the proper term, if you're Puerto Rican, freedom is coming. from that. Okay. For a lot of people. So the paradigm is changing, and change is difficult. It is. Everybody's feeling the change. In fact, that's what the corona is. It's the crown chakra. It's God. It's Godess. That's what the corona is. Okay. Represents its crown in Latin, crown chakra, God consciousness. God is coming. There's going to be a lot of apparitions coming up. People are going to hear thunder, loud thunder, but it's not going to be scary. It's not. It's not going to be scary. God would not do that to us. God loves us all. Okay. God loves us all. The creator loves us all. So we'll be fine. All of us. Okay. And work on your crown chakras, guys. I've been telling y'all that. And that's what Britney Spears needs to do. Okay. That's my discussion. I'm glad that I was able to bring this message. I feel really good that I am alive to see the paradise on earth. This is going to become a paradise again, like it should be, with the help of the Fae, of course. And thank you to Maeve, which is the Fae goddess. So, it's a lot of stuff that's getting ready to change, y'all. Okay. And those who fight it, if they fight the change, they're going to fall down if they fight that change. Okay. And they won't get up. It ain't going to be no we fall down, but we get up. They going to fall down and they going to go underground. They going to be seeing all kind of stuff. Tornadoes that ain't even there. They going to be reporting tornadoes and hurricanes and stuff that ain't even there, because in their world, they're going to be getting pushed underground. They're going to sink while the rest of the people that accept that change stays afloat. Okay. So things are about to get better. Okay. August was a rough month. So was September, but we're getting ready to have an energy shift coming up. Okay. So get prepared for it. Get prepared for the fall. The final fall is getting ready to happen. Now, it doesn't mean that, money is going to increase. That a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be this and folks going to be dying. And no, it's going to be a good thing. If you interpret it as that, then that's what's going to happen. But if you interpret it, the way that I'm telling you, you'll be fine. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe. And if you guys need to reach me, this is High Priestess Jamila. Okay. Fairy witch, your fairy godmother. Then all of my inflow is below. Okay, y'all. Love and light. Thank you for coming.